I can relate because I came from depression, suicidal situation. I was at a point where I knew my family because we was born up in a Christian household. My mom and dad, my mom's a pastor, my dad is an elder. By the time they wasn't, but they taught us about God. Every night we used to listen to Escape from Hell, Bible scriptures, but I just never really had a relationship with God. I just saw my mom praying to God, and I always wondered, okay, how do you, it was interesting to me. You're praying to God, you have this love for God, and there was things that I didn't understand in terms of the Bible. But I remember one particular time I used to always pray to God, saying, God, you know what? Because at that time we was coming from like a big house, and then my mom gave it up, and then we got a flat, which was, very small, very crowded, and it wasn't a good place to be. But every time I was there, so about the age of 7, I used to go to bed and I used to pray to God and imagine us having a house. And I said to God, I want a house. This is what I want in the house, because at the time I was sharing rooms with my sister. I was like, God, I don't mind if I have a small room. Every time I was doing it for about 7 years. I didn't know at the time that God heard me. Until after the 7 years is when he walked across the road, opened the door and said, this is your house. And when I looked at the house,
it had everything I prayed for.
That made me think, okay, like God hears me, but I still didn't have a relationship with him. Then my mom used to always do ministry, counseling. And I remember one time she was talking about, soul ties and familiar spirit. And this was when I was like 12, 13, which this teaching was, she used to do like a prayer breakfast. It intrigued me. I didn't know why, but I just loved when she was talking about the generational curses. Didn't really know why. But then until, let's say, later down the line, I had that experience of, God, you know what? I know my parents or my family loves me, but I didn't know what love felt like through maybe the past traumas. I just didn't know what love felt like. It was just something that was far away from me. And maybe through the people I used to talk to wasn't always showing me what love was. So I was always confused about that. And I knew, okay, God, I do believe that you do exist, but I don't know you. And I remember for the first